Welcome to the Word for Life podcast, a daily devotional covering the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
Today we are in Genesis chapter 13 and 14. In this chapter, we read about Abraham's nephew Lot. You see, God commanded Abraham to leave his country and go to Canaan. But Lot left his family and country and followed God's instructions along with Abraham. That is very commendable. However, one day something terrible happened. The shepherds of Abraham and Lot fought with each other. This fight continued for some time. Soon, Abraham realized that the best possible solution is for both of them to separate. So, when the time came for them to part ways, Lot looked around and selected the well watered plain of Jordan. He moved from Abraham and pitched his tent near a city called Sodom. But then, in verse 13, it says, Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. Have you ever got into a bus or train and then realized that you have got into the wrong bus? That is what happened to Lot. He found out that the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. But in the next chapter, chapter 14, verse 12, we see Lot has now moved into the city of Sodom and is now living in Sodom. The question is, why did Lot not move away from Sodom? Because Sodom was like Eden and like Egypt. It was well watered and prosperous. Therefore, Lot continued there. Friends, what do we do when we find ourselves in the wrong place? The answer is not difficult. Move away from sinful people. Remember Psalm 1:1. But Lot remained in Sodom until the last day of the city. In contrast, Abraham did not go to this prosperous place called Sodom. He listened to God after Lot left. Genesis 13:17-18 says, God told Abraham, Go walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. So Abraham went to live near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he pitched his tents. There he built an altar to the Lord. So, my friends, when we have to choose between a prosperous, ungodly option and a not so prosperous but godly option, what must we do? Will we choose prosperity or godliness? Sodom or sanctification? Then there was a major battle between two groups of kings in the Jordan Valley where Lot was residing. In the battle, the kings of Sodom lost, and Lot and everything he had were taken away as captives. But when Abraham got to know this, he rushed with his 318 men, fought a great battle, and brought back Lot and all his possessions. Abraham had achieved a great victory. He had only 318 men, but he won that battle against 4 kings and their armies. And now Abraham was returning from the war. 2 people met him on the way. The first was Melchizedek, king and priest of Salem. When Melchizedek met Abraham, he praised God for Abraham's victory. Genesis chapter 14 verse 20 reads, And praise be to God Most High, who delivered your enemies into your hand. Did you notice? Melchizedek did not congratulate Abraham for a great victory, but said it was God who defeated his enemies. If there was anyone else in Abraham's place, they would have got offended. Because when you have won an impossible war, you would want people to chant your name. But Melchizedek praised God. But Abraham did not get offended. He even approved of what Melchizedek said and gave a tenth of everything he had. Friends, many times people do not talk to us like Melchizedek did to Abraham. They only praise us and sing about us. Today, we may need Melchizedeks to remind us that it was God who gave us the victory. Christian believers must also learn to give credit to God for helping them achieve anything. The next person who meets Abraham as he comes back from the war is the king of Sodom. The king of Sodom made an interesting offer to Abraham. He said, Abraham, since you won the war, you deserve to keep all the plunder, all the things you got from the war. But only give me the people. Abraham replied to him in Genesis 14:23, I will accept nothing belonging to you, not even a thread or the strap of a sandal, so that you will never be able to say, I made Abraham rich. Abraham had so much in his hands. He could have kept it for himself, but he gave it all to the king of Sodom, so that it will not be the king of Sodom who will make him rich, but God will make him rich. And that is what happened in the end. In the end, God blessed Abraham much more than the king of Sodom. Abraham became a great nation. Abraham became a blessing to all nations. My friends, if we trust God, if we hold on to Him and know that He is the one who will carry us forward, we will not unnecessarily hold anybody's feet. It is God who will prosper us. It is God who will make us rich. It is God who will give us what we need.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Word for Life podcast.